Milton from TeamFFLEX. You are on my show, First Callouts, every single Wednesday. Come right here to talk to you about everything you want to know as a competitor that's going to help land you in that first call out. Today, we're going to talk about how to know what division you should be in. This is a question I get countless times. Literally, I can't even count the amount of times I've got this question. I'm going to talk about for both men divisions and female divisions. We're going to go through it. We're going to get it all over. I'm going to tell you, hopefully give you some ideas of what division is the right one for you, or at least some things to consider. Please do me a favor, fam. Subscribe to the channel and then share out the video. I'm Ryan Milton from TeamFFLEX. You are on First Call Out. Since I've started my career coaching competitors, I will tell you this. I've got this question so many times, it's crazy. You know, a lot of people first starting out say, hey, what division do you think is the best one for me to go? I've never competed, but I think this maybe. I kind of like that. Which one do you think's best? A lot of competitors have already competed before, and they're wondering, you know what? Maybe I want to move over here, shift things, try to do that a little bit. I don't know. What do you think? And a lot of people just, in reality, don't know which division is the best fit for them. And in reality, there is no one definite answer to tell you, yes, this is the one, stay here, do this, don't do anything else over the other. But there are some things that you need to consider that could actually make your journey a little bit different. It could make it easier, it could make it harder. You know, and at the end of the day, I'm going to tell you exactly what it takes to figure out which division you should at least start with and how to continue along the path to figure out which one is the best one. You're kind of home where you're going to be staying, and you might want to compete there for a long period of time. So when we look at the women's divisions, we're talking about, you know, mainly the most popular divisions being bikini, wellness, figure, and then we move into bodybuilding, women's physique, those types of divisions, okay? But the most part, you know, if you're looking at the comparison of bikini and wellness, a lot of people get very confused if they don't have a trained eye. I know for a fact there's a lot of coaches that tell me that they don't see the difference between bikini and wellness. I've seen the comments on Instagram. It blows my mind. I'm like, what are you talking about? I've literally seen some coaches say it's just a less conditioned version, in other words, a fatter version of bikini, which is so far beyond the truth, it's insane. But the point is, there's a lot of misinformation and a lot of, you know, you don't know what's best for you. And here's what a lot of people have been doing wrong for the wellness bikini. Any of you competitors out there trying to figure this out, a lot of these competitors look at it and they say, well, I did bikini, but I didn't do good. I didn't place right. Judges told me to bring down my legs. And they think, okay, well, bigger legs and wellness, I see it, so that's the place for me. In reality, you don't know if that's the place for you, because if you have more body fat on your legs, that'd be the same notes from the judges, bring down your legs to go, you know, do better in bikini. Does not correlate over to wellness per se, okay? And there's a few things you want to consider when, you know, you're trying to decide this kind of comparison. Is it bikini? Is it wellness? Is it figure? Here's how you can kind of start to figure it out. You got to start with your genetics, okay? And honestly, I'm not a huge fan of being like your genetics dictate everything for you. I don't think that's true. I think your genetics absolutely play a role, but I think people can make immense and crazy strides in whatever they want to do, especially bodybuilding, if they follow the lifestyle, they train hard, etc. Okay? If the genetics help, absolutely. If you have bad genetics, does it hinder you? Absolutely. But can you still influence your physique and, you know, your contest prep body? Absolutely. So that's something to strongly remember. However, if you are genetically predispositioned, in other words, to pack on more muscle, right? And you know who you are, ladies. If you're one of the girls that just, you know, you have quads, you could not squat for 8 weeks, 12 weeks, and you're still going to have developed legs. Your legs are just naturally more muscular, or you just hold in general more muscle. You know, a lot of times this is people that were athletes their entire life doing other sports, you know, through high school and stuff like that. they have, a genetic predisposition to maybe hold more muscle. And this is a real thing, fam. This is something that's real. You can get your DNA tested even and figure some of this stuff out in this crazy world we live in now. But the point is, if you genetically hold more muscle naturally, well, you might want to sit there and say, okay, maybe wellness or maybe figure could be better for me than bikini. Not to say bikini isn't muscular. However, it is a less muscular version than wellness and figure, meaning on the flip of that coin, if you're a hard gainer, okay, this classic hard gainer type of genetic where it is hard for you to build muscle, like you have to do a lot of work, you have to do everything perfect, you have to eat every calorie, every macro, every set, every rep, and if you quit training a day, you're gonna lose 5 months of gains. You know who you are, ladies. Well, then bikini could be a better fit for you, because while you still do need to attain muscularity, shape, all that size proportion needs to be right. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying bikini girls don't train hard. They do extremely hard. But to get to a wellness type physique, in other words, where you have a lot more lower body muscle, or a figure type physique where you have a ton more muscle overall, it's going to take you a lot longer and it's going to be a lot harder to maintain. So you guys are going to look right out the gate at your genetics and say, all right, well, how do I generally hold muscle? Is it easier for me to build muscle? Is it harder? And then that's something to consider when we're looking at these three main divisions. Obviously, if you're looking at women's physique and bodybuilding, you're talking about extreme muscle gain. So that same thing factors in. You got to look at what you naturally got, and then you got to look at this. Your lifestyle considerations. Your lifestyle considerations come in so much. Meaning, hey, if you're the bikini girl that wants to go to wellness, awesome. Are you willing to go train your legs for 2-3 hours twice, maybe 3 times a week if you need it, because you're more of that kind of, that hard gainer physique that's gonna have such a hard time building that muscle? Are you willing to live that lifestyle, beat on your body with all those weights, eat all those calories? Because it would be easier, in other words, for you to fit into bikini. You could do less and do probably better than if you had to go and, just try to put yourself into the spot where you're gonna be living in the gym, living a slave to every plate of food you eat and all that. And don't get me wrong, some women do want this. Some competitors do literally want to do that. They literally say, I've been a bikini competitor, I've been thinking about bikini, I might be set up for bikini, but I really want to be a wellness competitor. And they're willing to train for a year or longer to attain that physique before they can put it on stage. They're willing to do the crazy hardcore volume you got to do on your body for wellness or for figure, etc. And if you're willing to do it, that's great. But, right out the gate, you can kind of determine with your lifestyle, can you fit to do these certain things? And now I want to note on the men's divisions, these are some of the same kind of stuff we're talking about, right? When we talk about men's divisions, it is very similar to what I just laid out for, bikini, wellness, figure. That goes all the same for when we're looking at the men's divisions. We got men's physique, we got classic physique, we got bodybuilding, right? We got these divisions where basically it's the same type of thing. We're looking at men's physique. They don't focus on the legs there in judging, so you've taken out basically half the body. You're wearing board shorts, so obviously that is a division where obviously you still need to be very muscular. You're still gonna have to put on a lot of muscle mass, and don't get me wrong, men's physique athletes train very, very hard. But if we're talking about how hard it is to be in that division versus how hard it is to be in classic physique or bodybuilding, we're looking at really some of the same things in my last analogy, being that, hey, if you have a harder time building muscle, maybe you could consider men's physique, because it's going to still have to be a good amount of muscle built, but it is less than you need for classic physique, right? Classic physique, you got to train the legs, you're getting judged on the legs, you got to have a whole bunch actually just overall more muscle most of the time now. And of course, bodybuilding, we're talking about every detail of muscle you could possibly imagine, right? That's the hierarchy of the entire sport. And so with that, you got to understand, hey, you know what? If you're predispositioned to build more muscle, well, cool. Maybe you look at classic, maybe you look at bodybuilding, but maybe if you don't, you consider, okay, it's been hard for me to build muscle. It's taken me years to get this far, and maybe men's physique would be a better division for you. So again, your genetics come into play, and then of course the lifestyle, just like I made the analogy for the women's division, that lifestyle comes in, you guys. You gotta understand that your lifestyle has to fit the division you choose. Otherwise, you're going to be destined to pretty much not get the results you want, not get yourself into those first call-outs, right? Let's say some guy who is naturally, he's got a men's physique type genetic where maybe he doesn't build muscle as fast, it's harder for him to maintain, it's just set up better for him to do men's physique. And I'm going to get to more stuff in a minute on this. If you consider that, and then he says, but I want to be a bodybuilder, all right, cool. You're going to have to train for a very long time to build enough muscle. You're going to have to, train for years. And you're going to have to do a lot of heavy sets, heavy reps, high volume, spend hours every day in the gym and perfect on your diet to be in that physique versus just going where you might naturally fit better, okay? So genetics and lifestyle, these are the first two things you got to consider across the board. Now you might say, okay, cool, Coach Rye, that's a pretty good explanation. We get what you're saying, but we don't really understand what the hell you're talking about, man. Like, what do you actually how do I figure that out as a novice who's never competed? How do I figure that out if I did one show, but I don't understand the differences necessarily per these divisions? And I would say that's where you get a physique assessment, okay? You have a coach. Obviously, you should have a coach in the sport of bodybuilding. If you don't, it's a gamble at this point these days. These physiques are so hard to compete up against if you don't have coaches. A lot of coaches are putting in more work than they ever have to get their athletes, and the athletes are putting more work they ever have to be the best athletes, some of the best in the world now, constantly on every stage you step on. You can do your first show, and it feels like you're competing against people that have been doing this for 10 years. And with that, it's very high quality. So you want to have a coach. And if you have a coach, guess what? I'll tell you what. On TeamFFLEX, I can look at competitors. I can look at people just sign on. I can look at their past stage shots. I can look at people that never competed and say, all right, here is what I think would be best based on X, Y, and Z. And that information, that's going to be different for every person, okay? The X, Y, and Z info that I'm going to have, whether it's stage shots or, stuff I'm getting from their background, their consultations we do, things like that. Either way, I'm going to draw a conclusion. I'm going to draw a conclusion because that's my job as a coach, to best guide, best direct, best tell people where I think they should go, okay? And with that, again, it's not a solid stone ground rule, right? It does not mean you have to stay here. If I bring someone in that's like, hey, I'm looking at bikini or wellness, which one do you think? I'm going to say, all right, well, here's what we would have to do for bikini. You'd have to do X, Y, and Z. And here's what we'd have to do for wellness. It's going to take this long. You got to train this hard. We got to go this far. We got to do all that before we can get on stage. What sounds better to you? Which one do you like? Do you like the bikini look more? Do you like the wellness look more? Same for the guys. I'm doing the same thing across the board for all divisions, ones I've said and ones I haven't. I'm doing the same thing, right? And that's what we have to do as coaches. So I can oftentimes figure out based on talking to the athlete, their consultations I read, get their full, fitness history. A lot of coaches don't do this and I don't know why. I want to know, when the first weight you lifted was. When was your first PR? And I'm going back that far to see what I think would be your best decision based on what I know about the sport. And then, of course, actually looking at the aesthetics. What do these people look like in general? What do they already have done, right? Most people have been training for a while before this. A lot of people don't just jump off the couch and say, I want to be a bikini competitor. It does happen, but a lot of times it doesn't. They've been training, they've been doing something. So what do they already got? How far are they? How fast can we get them? What's their timeline? Do they want to compete in 12 weeks or they want to compete in a year, 2 years? What are we looking at? All these things come into play. And you got to have a coach that is qualified, can understand this, knows the differences between the divisions. God forbid is not saying that wellness is a fatter version of bikini like I've seen so many coaches do. It blows my mind. And obviously for the male division, same thing. You got to know, you got to have a coach that knows the difference. What are they judging? What are the poses? What do you need to have? What's the level, of pecs in this versus pecs in that? What are the poses? All these things come into play, and you got to have a coach that knows this. If they can't look at you and give you an assessment and give you some feedback, then right out the gate, I'd say get a different coach. Don't waste your time on that journey. Get a different coach. Lose the money you spent. Get a refund. Do whatever you can. Go get a coach that's going to be able to guide you and direct you, because it will save you literally years and years and probably many last call-outs instead of actually just getting a coach that's qualified, knows where you can go, can guide you, can direct you, and get you into the first call-outs. And on that note, I want to say, hey, if any of you out there need help, you want a physique assessment, go to my website, TeamFFLEX.com right now. Even if you got another coach, another team, I don't care. I'm more than happy to help you. I will look at your physique. You can send me, whatever. Go onto our trial, TeamFFLEX.com. And I'll give you some feedback. I'll give you an assessment. I'll say, hey, you know what? This probably wellness. Oh, this probably bikini. Oh, men's physique, classic physique, bodybuilder. Whatever. I can give you feedback, and I'm more than happy to do it. I spent a lot of time studying this. I'm very active. I've coached 1,000 competitors over the years. Got so many people, pros, trophies, hardware, overalls, everything. We're doing it on TeamFFLEX, and I'm happy to help and share my information with you, my knowledge with you. That's why I do this channel anyway, right? So, I'm out here doing that. Might as well take advantage of it. Go to TeamFFLEX.com, put your email in that box. It will invite you to our free coaching trial, and with that, we'll set you up with workouts even if you want, whatever. If you just want the physique assessment, just get over there, download my app, put it in, I'll talk to you, I'll assess it, send you on your way. Just want to help you any way I can. So go to TeamFFLEX.com, do that now. 1, 2, 3! Now, the last thing I want to say, it's kind of my fourth thing of the day here for how to figure out what division you should kind of compete in, start in, be competing in, is actually to compete. Go figure. What? How? What? That's crazy, Ryan. What do you mean? What? Well, take the information from 1 through 3 that we just talked about. Basically get a coach, get guided, figure out what your genetics are, figure out what's going to fit your lifestyle, and then go and attack it. Okay? Go and attack it. Say, you know what? I might want to do wellness. I like the wellness physique better. Think it's better for me. I want to do it, but I'm going to start with bikini because I'm kind of between the two. I'm not 100% sure. Coach thinks bikini, so maybe lifestyle fits better for bikini, so maybe whatever. So go compete in bikini. Get on stage and then get feedback from the judges. I'm one of the only guys preaching the feedback crazy. I know every coach in the game wants to pretend they know every single thing, that they can predict what the judges are going to tell you and all this. Hey, get on stage and hear from the judges. Don't hear some false news from your coach. I've been at so many shows where coaches walk out. They don't even get feedback. They're not. I stay and talk to the judges every time. Or I contact them after. I call them up, say, hey, what's going on? Or I wait with the athlete and we go together. I do that every show because guess what? At this event, at the judging, the judges are the people placing. They're the ones calling you out in the first calls. They're the ones giving you the trophies. They're the ones putting you here and there. And then whether you get dead last place or you get the overall or anywhere in between for that matter, you should be getting feedback because they're going to be able to tell you further stuff. Most of the time, everybody's goal is, even if you win your show, right? Let's say you got the overall. Most of the time you get the overall, it's time to go to nationals, try to get a pro card, right? So you need different feedback now. You might have got the overall at a regional show, a local show, but how do you get yourself to nationals? How do you get that pro card? Well, you got to get that feedback. So you got to stay and get feedback. And if you didn't do where you wanted to do at your show, you placed in second call outs, third calls, maybe you got dead last. Well, why are you walking out? Go figure out why. Go figure out what you can improve on. And remember, hey, this is a progressive sport. You got to do shows. You got to keep going, but you got to get the feedback. Otherwise, guess what you do? Some of these coaches, I know, I'm sorry to say this. I don't like talking bad on it, but I don't at all support the idea of not getting feedback and just listening to coach. I think that's wrong. I think that's not valuable. I think that's going to mislead so many people, because what happens is these coaches, they get this kind of ego trip in their head. They get in their head and they think that they are like, you know, this bodybuilding god that knows everything there is to know, and there's no way that anybody would not place you. There's no way that you shouldn't have won. It was rigged. It was junk. It was, you guys know who, these types of people, okay? And then they say, we're going to do this and we're going to do the next one. Okay, well, most of the times you do the same thing. These coaches tell you do the same thing that didn't serve you in getting your placing, and you go do another show and you get the same damn placing, right? You get worse. You don't come better. You don't get better. Sometimes maybe you do get a little bit better. Then you go to the next one and you get worse. And you might wonder why. It's because you're not getting the feedback, right? You got to fit the criteria of these divisions. That's everything. And thankfully, we have immense resources out there for this stuff. NPC News Online. You can get also in front of the actual judges at events. You can go to seminars. Sandy Williamson runs seminars all around the country all the time. It's crazy. Other head judges, other promoters, people run these things to help educate you, help you learn what the rules are, help you know what the criteria is, help coaches like me get better so we can bring better athletes to the shows. And if you don't get the feedback, you don't understand why you placed here, you don't understand what to do next, you don't understand what it takes to get better, how are you ever going to come and bring your best? And so that's why feedback's so important. That's almost a separate rant in this video. But really what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, you're trying to figure out your division, take a shot. Get on stage, do a little prep. If you're better suited for bikini or something like that, maybe you want to do wellness, go do bikini right now. Get on stage for bikini. See how you place. Maybe you do great. Maybe you do awesome. Maybe you don't. Maybe you don't. Either way, get your feedback. Go sit down, talk to the judges. Hey, what's going on? Thanks for judging me. Appreciate it. I'm happy with my placing, whatever it was. Don't be crazy. And I want to know what you think of my physique. What can I do to get better? How can I improve? Here's my goal. Well, I got last place today. I want to get first call-outs next time. I got first call-outs today. I want to go to nationals. All right, cool. What do I need to do? And then listen. Take notes. Record it. Write it down. I don't know what you want to do. Get those things down so that you can actually put them to use. You can go and you can improve and you can get better. And guess what? This will happen, ladies and gents out there watching. You'll get on stage as a men's physique athlete and they'll say, hey, you know what? Too much muscle. You got too much muscle and you're too muscular. This doesn't fit the criteria for this division. You're actually too lean. You might want to look at classic physique or bodybuilding. Okay? And same for bikini and all these other divisions, right? Sometimes they say, you know what, whoa, you're way too lean for bikini. And actually you have quite a bit of muscle. You might want to look at doing figure. You might want to look at actually doing some figure. Okay? You're going to get feedback. You're going to get direction. Judges will do this all the time. Guess what? After you compete in front of a panel of judges, stay after the show and ask them. Ask them with your own mouth. Hey, what division do you think's best? Been talking to my coach, been trying to figure this out. I don't know what's best. Do you think wellness? Do you think bikini? You think men's physique? You think bodybuilding? Where do you think I should go? What do you think I should do? I'm not 100% sure. And guess what they'll do? They'll tell you. They're going to give you their feedback. Now, is this feedback golden everywhere in the world? No. Every show's different. Every area's different. Every, part of the world is different. Because athletes are different. The standard of judging and all that, the criteria, however, do not change. Meaning, in other words, what I'm saying to you is, if a judge says, hey, yeah, you're great in bikini, you just need to improve your glutes more, build your shoulders a little bit, well, athletes go do that, and they think they have now the gold card to the pro card, basically. Like they're going to show up and they're going to win and they're going to do great. No, it doesn't necessarily mean that. It means that when you show up, you improved, but there could still be people better than you. You got to understand that. This is the sport of bodybuilding, which is probably one of the toughest sports physically and mentally in the world, period, because of all that it takes to be able to do this stuff. And sometimes showing up at your best and still not being the best, and that's something to consider too. But at the end of the day, I'm starting to rant too much in this video. I just got too much of this in here, I guess. Too much in the brain for you guys. Point is, those are my 4 things that I would say. Start right at the gate with those. In most of the time, you're going to be able to get them in in alignment. You're going to find the division you like. You're going to find the place you like to compete. And realistically, that would be the fifth thing that I have to say. That's it. The fifth thing would be go with what you think is your favorite. Go with where you enjoy yourself the most. You might be honestly better fit for some certain division. Your coach might say so, your lifestyle might say so, the judges might say so, but don't forget, the sport of bodybuilding is for you. This is your journey. This is your success. This is your goals. This is stuff that nobody would understand but you, right? You could put 25 bodybuilders in a room and everyone would have a different reason for doing what they do. Same with bikini competitors and everybody else. Everybody does this for their own reasons. And the most important reason always needs to be that you do what you want to do for you. So at the end of the day, you got to look at it and you got to say, you know what? If you go through all these steps, you go through 1 through 4, and you're like, you know what? I really might be best suited for wellness, but I just don't want to be that. I don't want to do that. I would rather be a bikini competitor. Well, you can do different stuff to try to become your best bikini competitor and get what you want out of that. It doesn't mean you're going to be Miss Olympia, but it does mean that you can suit your goals and your needs, which at the end of the day, this is what this is, fam. This is the sport of bodybuilding. This is you, your journey from where you are now to where you want to be. Whatever division, whatever stage, whatever call out, whatever trophy, whatever pro card, this is you. It's your journey. And that's what it's all about at the end of the day, okay? There's going to be a lot of people with a lot of opinions. There's going to be a lot of misinformation in the world. But at the end of the day, don't forget why you started. Don't forget why it's for you. Don't forget where you want to go, and continue to do the best you can and be your best competitor, okay? And that means a variety of things to a ton of different people. Hopefully, I've given you guys some insight today, some ideas, some stuff to think about, some things to consider when it comes to competing in your division and where you should go and how you should choose. I mean, honestly, those 5 things, if I have to be 100% honest with myself, and I'm going to be straight up with you guys and make these up as I go. I don't sit down and write this out. This is just experience coming out my brain. I would say those 5 things cover all bases. If you're really trying to figure out a division, you can do one of these, you can do all 5 of these. Eventually, you will land where you want to be. You will be in your best spot. You will be in your division, and then you will forget the other ones exist because you're going to be 100% involved in that division. And it doesn't mean your goals and your dreams and whatever you want to do don't change down the line. But you can absolutely figure out how to start, where to go, and a little bit of direction now for the present time and forward. If you do those 1, maybe even all 5 of those things, you'll be able to figure it out. So again, anybody that wants help with coaching, training, physique assessments, anything, for a free trial. It's on my website, TeamFFLEX.com. I got me and a kick-ass team of coaches, okay? We will set you up for 100% free. You don't have to put a card in, no obligation to continue, nothing, zip, zilch, not a zero. This is a give back for all of you out there. We want to help you. We want to get you further. We want to do what we can to support you on your journey through this sport of bodybuilding. All right, so if you go to the website, TeamFFLEX.com, there'll be an email pop-up. Just drop your email in there. Instant invitation to our private coaching app. Only people that get access to this are our actual paying athletes and clients, or people on the trial. It's nothing we give away. It's right there. It's for you, and you can take advantage of it. And literally what happens is, it's not some generic thing. It's not some PDF sending out. You'll be in communication with me or one of my coaches, and we will help you with whatever you need. You want to see some wellness workouts? You want to see some, bikini workouts? You want a physique assessment? You want some men's physique workouts? Figure out how to widen your V-tape or whatever? We'll set it up. It's all free. Next 7 days. You want to be your most serious competitor and you don't do this? I don't even know who you are. You're not being the most serious competitor, because free information is great information, because it's going to help you get further, and that's what we want to do. So again, go over there, TeamFFLEX.com, and subscribe to that. Put your email in, instant invitation. We'll see you on the other side, all right? I hope I do. Please, anybody else watching, keep in mind, this is just one of the 5 awesome shows I run for all of you out there, talking about your health and fitness life, your health and fitness journey. I do this for free. I do this to help you. I want to help you, so help me and subscribe to the channel, and then share out the video if you got something out of it. I seriously appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm Ryan Milton from TeamFFLEX. This is First Callouts. Hopefully I gave you some info. It's going to help you get in that first callouts. In fact, I'll see you there, because I know it's going to help. Thanks for watching. Coach Rye is out.